If you're an ecom founder doing anywhere from 100K to 10 million a month, you've probably used AI to write a collection page copy for you and then watched it not rank at all. And the problem was never really using the AI to write the collection page copy. The problem was skipping the research that goes into writing a really high quality collection page. Google ranks the research behind what you do, not the prompt you're using. Doing this well is no longer prompt engineering, it's turned into context engineering, and we'll get into what that means later on in the video. But if you don't know who I am, my name's Michael Sack, founder of SEO Oasis. We're an AI era SEO agency built exclusively for ecom brands, so we help people get ranked #1 on Google and #1 on ChatGPT. And so in this video, I'm going to show you why just using generic AI written SEO copy fails, and then walk you through our research process we run before every single collection page we build. So let's get into it. So first, why does AI copy not rank when you just take the first thing that comes out of ChatGPT? So most ecom founders are using AI to write the collection page copy in the exact same way. And they open ChatGPT or Claude, type something like, write me a collection page copy for this product, or maybe they even say, write me an SEO optimized collection page copy for this product, and then, edit it a little bit and then publish just whatever comes back. It sounds professional, and you can even feed it the right keywords to write in, and it'll read well. But ultimately, the AI is going to be writing something really, really similar for everyone doing it this way. It's just going to write based on what it knows, what its training data. It's not doing any research outside of what you're feeding it, right? So it's not looking at the Google search results page to see what's actually being rewarded right now for that specific keyword. It's not checking the top ranking pages and seeing what they're talking about, what questions they're answering. It's just producing content that sounds like everything else on the internet. And so if everyone's doing that, no one's going to stand out. And so the single most important thing that we tell every client is the content we write is going to conform to exactly what Google is looking for. And we never try to get Google to conform what we're writing for this particular keyword, right? And we need to make it unique enough so that we stand out from the crowd. And so just having that one frame is what separates collection pages that rank at position 40 versus position 1. So I'm going to dive into my laptop here to show you what our research process looks like, what generic copy looks like. All right, so I'm just going to jump into ChatGPT here and show you exactly the difference between what generic AI written collection page copy looks like and what really good collection page copy looks like, right? So most people, let's say we want to write a collection page for energy gels for running, right? So what people would do is write an SEO optimized collection page description for my energy gels for running collection page. Right, and it's going to give you this stuff that looks pretty good, hits all the keywords, running energy gels, right? It's hitting all the keywords a couple times. You might think, all right, this looks great, but it's missing a lot. It's missing FAQs, it's missing all the different secondary keywords, signals that Google is looking for. And if we just search this keyword, we can look through the top pages. I know Honey Stinger is just a really big brand, so that helps them rank really well. And then Goo is another one that ranks really well. And on their page, they have some headlines, they have some internal linking, which is really great. Then they have gel FAQs, right? So what are energy gels? How often should I take them? Stuff like that. And then there's TheFeed.com, which is awesome to see. We help them rank there really well. But then there's stuff like there's some blogs, Runner's World, talking about specific gels. And so we want to look at all these, and we'll get into the research process in a second here, but we want to look at all these and get some ideas for like what's the best, most useful copy we can write for this collection page to get it ranking for this keyword. And real quick, if you're an ecom founder doing 100K to 10 million a month and you want us to run this research process for your collection pages and write all this copy for you, you can book a free AEO strategy call with us below. It's the exact same process we use to help TheFeed, which I just showed you, generate an extra 573,000 in organic revenue in just 8 months by ranking really well for keywords like that. I'll show you exactly what Google is looking for in your niche right now and what your pages need to do to rank. So link to book is in the description. All right, now let's get back to the video. And so you can see like all these things that these pages have that are ranking well that the generic copy here that we got out just doesn't have. So you can edit this all you want. You can add your brand voice. But if you're not hitting those specific things, asking ChatGPT or any LLM for that matter to write an SEO optimized collection page just doesn't work. There's an interesting blog article here from a tool that we find really useful for doing this research, and I'll link it down below, but we tested the 13 best for writing LLMs. Essentially all it's doing is testing like a bunch of different LLMs. So they did Claude, Perplexity, Grok, ChatGPT, Gemini, ran the same prompts through all of these, and then scored the output using their tool. And what it found was the score was pretty much really bad when you don't say SEO optimized, right? So they ran two prompts. One said make it SEO optimized, and the other did not say that. And for the one that didn't, the score here, which you can see in this column here, is just pretty bad. Perplexity 47, ChatGPT 5.2, one of their more recent models, 49 out of 100. It's missing a title. It was only like 109 words, only hit 16 like NLP entity secondary keywords, which we'll get into in a little bit here. And then when they told it to do SEO optimized, it did help. Some jumped quite a bit, but still pretty low scores, 60, 70-ish. And, this is a little bit biased because the scoring that it's using is the scoring that this tool uses to write SEO optimized copy. But that's kind of the point. This tool scrapes the first page of results, look at all the different headlines that people are talking about, and finds all these little entity secondary keywords that needs to be in the copy for it to rank well. And so if you're not doing that, you're just getting the generic thing out of ChatGPT. It's not going to work really well. And we've seen this in the pages that we write as well. So to get more into the process itself, basically what the process is we just search the keyword, look through the top results, look at some of the Reddit posts to see what people are asking, look at the things to know, look at the people also ask, people also search for, all these different signals that tell us like what people actually want to know when they're searching something like energy gels for running. And then, we click into each one of these things, look at the headlines, how many headlines do they have, what subheadings are they using, how many subheadings, what specific questions are they answering, so to get an idea of what exactly Google is looking for. Again, the stuff we want to write needs to conform to exactly what Google is looking for to rank a page. And then what we do is we build the copy brief. Now, we have a whole system that helps us put this brief together, but to give you an idea of what it looks like, I've redacted some of this to keep it a little proprietary. But like I said, we use the POP tool. So the POP does all this analysis for us, pulls the LSI terms, which are basically, think of them as like secondary keywords, although they don't really look like secondary keywords, but they are. These are the closest like entity matches that Google is looking for, like basically tiny little signals that if Google sees, it associates with whatever primary keyword you are trying to rank for. Then we have keyword variations, some of the competitor of the pages ranking for this keyword. This was for a different gym shorts, I think, not energy gels. So you'll see Gymshark and Nike and stuff in here. Then related questions, the heading structure, how many of each type of headline we want, how many different HTML tags. I mean, it goes pretty deep. Then once we have that, that's basically telling hit all these headline targets and keyword targets within it. Then we give it some writing rules just to keep the copy a little bit less AI-y, right? How to format it. Then we go into brand guidelines, brand identity, who their target audience is. And then this is obviously specific to every client. So you'd have to fill this out for yourself. But this is really important to get the copy in the brand voice. And then we just explicitly give it the task, generate an SEO optimized content for a collection page, targeting the keyword, and then again we give it all the targets that it needs to hit, all the different texts and LSI terms it needs to hit in the paragraphs, and then some output format structuring that helps us for our specific workflow. But the big points are the content brief, from analyzing it, then getting into writing rules and brand guidelines, then giving it the task of writing the collection page and giving it all the different targets it needs to hit. So if you spend any amount of time, get anything from this video, it's build a structured prompt like this that you can quickly fill out for every single keyword that you're trying to rank for, so that when you run this through ChatGPT or Claude or whatever, you get a much better output. Then all you have to do from there is fix some things up, add internal linking, add the schema markup, some of the smaller things, but they still matter a lot. And then, yeah, once you have that, then you're finally ready to actually post that to your website. And this is really where the AI becomes genuinely useful, right? Because you've done the work to figure out what people actually want when they search that keyword. So the AI isn't guessing anymore. You've done all the research for it. You're just giving it the structured brief from what that tells it what Google's actually looking for. And then at that point, AI is really good at writing these collection pages. And this is what I was talking about in the very beginning of the video of prompt engineering versus context engineering. The difference being that rather than having this perfect prompt of act as a senior SEO analyst and write me an SEO optimize, giving it all the stuff from like 2023, pretty much you don't need any of that. Really all you need is to give it the research that it can use to produce the really high quality content. And then pretty much all you have to say is write me an SEO optimize. You might not even have to say SEO optimize because that's all implied based off the entire prompt that you're giving it. So instead of that generic copy you're getting out that everyone else has, you have actually unique copy to help you stand out from the crowd, and you're hitting all the terms Google's specifically looking for. And it's really hard to not rank well when you're doing all these things correctly at scale, consistently producing content that is helpful to people, right? Google rewards that kind of thing. It doesn't care if it's written by AI or written by someone with a PhD in writing, right? So this is the exact process we are running for Dr. Brandt right now. And before they started, their collection pages had no supporting copy, no structure at all, no internal linking, no schema. Their average rank went from second, third page, 16 to 21 across all their target keywords, to ranking first for like a ton of really important keywords, right? After rebuilding all their collection pages, organic revenue, I should say, increased 2-3-fold in 73 days. And it wasn't the copy alone that did that. It was the research behind the copy that we did, the internal linking, the whole package, right? And most SEO agencies you run into are going to do that generic writing step. They might have some fancy prompt that they use, but again, it's not about the prompt, it's about the context you're feeding it. So they'll pick keywords based off the search volume, brief a writer, or an AI tool based off of that keyword, and then just publish whatever the AI spits out. And that is not a winning process. That's just kind of guessing on your dime, by the way, with a keyword attached to it. And the difference between the SERP informed approach is that every decision is based on data, based on science in a way. And those types of pages actually are the ones that rank on Google, right? Google's already showing you exactly what it wants when you search for a keyword. You just have to know how to analyze it, and you have to know how to pull the right terms from it. So this is why the work we do tends to lead to results much faster than traditional SEO agencies, traditional SEO timelines, because we're not running experiments on what may and may not work on your dime, right? We know it works. We know how to write the copy, and that's how we build the pages for you. Again, when you combine that with the proper schema markup and the internal linking and the blog writing and the backlinking, it all fits together really well. But if you don't get this key point right, if you're not actually giving Google what it wants, you're going to have a hard time ranking regardless. And again, this is the exact same process we applied to TheFeed.com. You saw them ranking for that big keyword earlier, and they were able to get a 50% increase in organic revenue with only a 27% increase in traffic, meaning we were driving more qualified traffic to their website. The traffic we were driving to them was ready to buy. More revenue from less traffic because the pages were built around the right research. So now you know why AI copy fails to rank and how to fix it for yourself before you even begin writing. But knowing the research process and knowing whether your store actually shows up in ChatGPT and other AI tools right now are two very different things. And so in the next video, I break down exactly how ecom brands can rank in ChatGPT and what you need to do right now to show up in AI shopping results before your competitors figure it out. So go watch the next one.